Hello, my name is John Bosch. I'm a third-year seminarian here at St. Joseph's. What I would like to share with you today is a ballad that I wrote as part of our poetry club here, which is dedicated in the name of John Paul II. I would like to dedicate the reading of this ballad to my grandfather Walter and to his father James. The Ballad of the Piper's Lass. We walked and waited by the sand, and saw them marching, a youthful band. Each eye was fixed upon another's gleam, as the band approached the station, the engine steam. Our lads were off to France, off to the war, with smiles bright, though each left someone at the door. Yet off they went, off to a trench-filled land, off to mud, gangrene, and death, for peace to make a stand. Each lad is given a final kiss before the train he boards, and over the cheers and through the tears, the pipes begin to roar. A single man leads the way into the engine of coal, a single noble heart, his eyes set on a goal. Keep the others' spirits up, keep them strong and true. With your tunes encourage them, and I'll encourage you. At the back she stands, the piper's lass, none stand beside. She has given her final word, only the last evening tide. And while some do weep and some do sigh, she and her piper stand noble with heads held high. Now the town is silent, the men at last are gone, with many a solemn promise that they'd be back anon. The steeple bell has replaced the engine's whistle shrill. The factory's roar drowns the pipes disappearing over the hill. The piper's lass was as good as her word to he that she did love. She prayed for him unceasingly unto the Lord above. And across the channel, when the shells began to rain, a piper stood a-piping through fear and death and pain. And home he would write to give them little news, to give his love to her and the girls, not old enough for shoes. May God, quoth he, keep ye forever in his goodly graces, until that day when I return to see your precious faces. Little Beth and darling Mary, mind your ma, eat veggies as well as dairy. When I come back, I will teach you the chanter, and together through the highlands we shall scamper. The sky's above and heather below, and you'll go dancing to and fro, whilst I'll be a-piping to your delight, and make our way homeward when day gives way to night. To his lass what was wrote, words if spoken would catch in his throat, but a promise renewed to do his best to come home, to the family he missed, those he loved, the ache hurt to his bone. His words were those all lovers know, words that help one through woods entombed with snow. So each night she'd reread them, alone in her room, each one by candlelight, or by the glimmer of the moon. And while the piper played, in sunlight or in rain, and through the shells and screams, he felt a noble pain. For each week a letter from home would come. They would make him play the boulder, but his voice was all but numb. He read of the home he missed more each passing day, and thought of Mass on Sunday in the highlands far away. She wrote him about the factory's hard work, and she told him his duty never to shirk. Thus the two passed their days, one with metal, the other with tune. And though a channel's distance apart, together they looked to be soon. And many a tear was shed by each upon their lonely bed. The mail would come each day at 6:15. The piper's lass would read the letters walking alone, her weariness for to fix. And the girls each night would ask, when is Pa coming home? But despite the straight back, at home, at work, in public place, each dawn found her sitting in bed. For her lover she did wait. Thus the bloody light found her, a crimson tear on her face. The mail train comes at 6:15, but that day no letter came. For instead of a letter's white, a yellow telegram. And home she crawled to sit late by the flame. KIA, the dreaded note did read. KIA, the telegram she received. KIA, the widow read, and Godspeed. KIA, free letters sang that from the war he was freed. And now the mails of consolation, but none can touch the piper's widow. Her grief has made her mind a desolation. No words can touch her. In a war-torn world, she is in isolation. It was not till after the war when again she did smile. A note came for her, it had crossed many a mile. And this one alone she would keep. This one alone did not deepen the pain to seep. Dear Madam, when I left my home for the war, I knew many things would change. I knew that I must shoot at men instead of game, targets in the range. But of everything which has come to pass, with one thing does my heart with joy beat so fast. I crossed the ocean to fight on the shore. A feeling of fear I brought to the war. But while away in France and not at home, I saw the piper in the night, standing all alone. Now to speak the truth, the pipes did I despise, the sound of hellish nightmares when I closed my eyes. No more. For many were the nights when we thought our lives would fade. Then over the sound of shells resound the pipes. The Scots are coming to our aid. Only once your husband did I meet. To play with such greatness is truly no little feat. Then, smiling, your picture he pulled from over his heart. It had been taken a few days before the war did start. He spoke of you, the piper's lass, whom he went to woo. He told me of your parting words. Keep the others' spirits up, keep them strong and true. With your tunes encourage them, and I'll encourage you. I was one who carried him back from no man's zone. It would not do to leave him lying in the mud alone. I checked the picture hidden in his breast. A bullet had passed through both his and your chest. Now if God is witness, no wound came out the back. Methinks the Almighty wished a part of you in his heart to rest. They buried him on a grassy hill, his grave with flowers the locals did fill, and round him 30 pipers did stand, and 30 pipers did play. It would not have been fit, no pipes to be heard, on a piper's funeral day. Now home I am, across a troubled sea, and in homage of the man who inspired love of pipes in me. O piper's lass, do I now write to thee, after the great war, of him who set my fears free. If God would be so good to hear and grant this prayer, if descendants come with dark or with light hair, at least one piper let there be to play music beyond compare. Now, I do not know if my note will aid you in your sorrow, but I have heard that pain is eased with each passing of tomorrow. And so farewell, O piper's lass. I am yours sincerely, James J. Morrow. The piper's lass lifts up her head, leaving the letter on her bedstead, for she hears again a sound that is sweet unto her ear, the sound of chanters poorly played by those little girls so dear.